Hey guys, welcome back to Redbanditracing. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we got the Slash BL-2S Slash VXL. We're going to go and upgrade to an aluminum drive shaft. We actually had an extra one. We're going to put a new drive hub on, and we're going to update the spur gear to a hot racing steel. So we're going to do that. Also, in the Stampede 4x4 BL-2S, I took the top out. I don't know if you guys probably didn't see in that last video, but I went ahead and removed the cover. That way it looks a lot better. And like I said I was going to do, I secured. I had to rotate the motor around to get the bracket flipped, but I got that. That looks a lot better. All right, but I took the cover off. So I'm going to do the same thing to the Slash because this cover, although it looks cool, keeps the debris out. But man, when rocks get stuck in there, they literally get stuck in there until they get grinded down. And this one actually got grinded pretty good right there, but these are going to break real easily if you guys are doing a lot of off-road. So just like the Slash, it doesn't have one. It's not going to hurt nothing. So I'm just going to take it out because it's going to alleviate a lot of other problems. So that one's all done. We got that one all fixed up, ready to go. Got that taken off. We also got some tires. Now the Proline Badlands, we weren't sure. We're going to put these on the Rustler, but we got some other things coming. So I think what we're going to do with these is we're going to put these on the Stampede, the two-wheel drive Stampedes. Because, like you saw on the other Badlands we had, they popped. They did not hold up. So we're gonna have to get these tires off this guy. I don't want the same thing to happen on the Rustler because the Rustler on 3S has a lot of power. So you know what? Let's go ahead and put these on the Stampede. They do come with adapters inside. You probably can't see them right there. We're gonna see if we can't get these to fit on the Stampede. If they do, we have two sets. We're gonna put them on the red Stampede, and then we're going to put them on the purple liter Stampede. So these haven't been ran in a while, but we are going to take them to the skate park. This should give it a lot more grip. So that said, let's go ahead and jump right into this video and let's get this thing upgraded and running really nice. All right, let's go and jump into this. I really haven't taken the body off of this one too much. I guess you really got to reach under there and release the tabs. Here we go. Yeah, I haven't really taken the body off of this a whole lot, so not bad. It's definitely a lot easier than it was before. First thing, let's take this shield off for the motor. I'm gonna loosen up just enough like that to get the motor to slide up out of the way. Now let's go ahead and take this cover off. And I'm going to show you guys why we're not using this cover. Granted, it was a good idea, it was a good concept for Traxxas to use this, but we've already ran into problems with this cover on here, so let's see if I can't. Yeah, let me try and flip it over. I'm going to poke it out to the bottom. There we go. That was better. Okay, just give it a little bit of wiggle. It is definitely a tight fit. You know what? I wonder if on this one it's a little bit different than the Stampede. I wonder if I got to take this motor all the way off because that back corner, it's touching the motor bracket. Yeah, let's go ahead and take this all the way off. Oh, there we go. Put that aside. Yeah, the motor was kind of blocking it right there. And the ESC is definitely in the way too. So, here we go. All right, let's get this out of here because right here, just like on the Stampede, you can see where it's grinding right there. A couple of rocks got stuck in there in between that and the drive shaft, center drive shaft. And this is the damage that it caused right there. So we're gonna fix this problem before this center drive shaft breaks. We're gonna go ahead and put in a new drive hub, which is part number 688X. And you need this because I'm gonna show you why they don't pre-install these with this center drive shaft. They're mounted differently. But we are gonna have to take out the back part of the chassis so that we can get to that slipper clutch. So we can go ahead and get that spur gear replaced. Once you got those back ones off, you're gonna carefully flip it over. The motor is loose, so just make sure it's not flopping around. Take these two bottom ones off. There you go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and slide this off, just like that. Go ahead and put this aside. Let's go ahead and pull our support clutch assembly out. Put that aside. Flip it back over. And do not lose this nut, this nut right here. This lock nut. It goes in the top of the back bracket for the motor mount. So don't lose that. They tend to fall out. Sometimes I'll just put a piece of Gorilla Tape over it, so I don't have to worry about it falling out all the time, because I have lost them before. This one does give you a little bit more room than the other one, so I think I can probably do this. Yeah, I think I can actually work on this without taking the front chassis part apart. So let's go ahead and take this one wheel off. That wheel off, put that aside. You guys probably can't see it, but yeah, if you spin it, yeah, you can access it right here through the side. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and take the set screw out of the front. Just like that. We'll pop that out. Not going to use that because the new one comes with it. There we go. Push it off. Flip it back over. And take this guy out. There we go. And that's what it looks like. So this one's actually, this is mounted through the front a little bit differently than your traditional 4x4 Rustler. So that's why you need the splined hub, because you have to attach this to that pinion gear in the front. And then that way this aluminum one is going to go in here like this, just like it does on the back. Just like that. It's the exact same thing that we did on the Stampede BL-2S. And we had to do, this one didn't break yet. This one almost broke, because you can see how it really grinded down right there. So I'd rather replace it before it snaps. I think on the Stampede it snapped right here in the back. So we're going to save it just to save it, because there's still nothing wrong with it, even though it's pretty grinded down. So we're going to go and put this aside, because we are going to keep it. All right, so what we're going to do is let's go and open this guy up. So again, this is part number 688X. All right, this does come with a set screw, and it already has Loctite on it, so you shouldn't have to put any more on it. I've never really had these back out. The only time I had them back out is when I've taken them off a few times, and then I've had to reapply more Loctite. All right, so now that that's right there, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of, you probably can't see it. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna stand up and do this because I wanna be able to show you guys what I'm doing. I don't know if you guys can see that right down in there. Right there. So I'm gonna rotate it to where I can see it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take this splined hub, and you can probably see it right in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this up. I don't think this is gonna be too difficult. Oh, popped it right in. So, like I said, you can do it this way. Then I take a pick. There you go. Put it right through the hole right there. That way you know that the set screw go right in. You can do it this way. Obviously, I made it look really easy. It really isn't that hard to do it this way. If you're fighting it, I'll show you guys. Let me put this in real quick, and I'll show you guys the other way how to do it. I won't take anything apart, but I'll at least show you guys what you need to do. Oh, this is a 1.5. All right, we take a 1.5. Get it nice and snug. Don't go too tight. Make sure you rotate it so you can see the other side of the set screw. Make sure it's not sticking out. Make sure it's nice and flush. There you go. So the other way to do it is you're going to have to remove this front part of the chassis. So you're going to remove these two screws right here. Then you're going to flip it over. You're going to have to take the steering linkage off the servo. Once you take that off, let's see here. This one's actually mounted a little bit different. So you're going to take these two screws right here, and that's it. That'll separate the front chassis, just like on the Rustler. Just be careful because, there's dowels in here that this sits in. So just make sure that's relined up when you put it back in. But you can do it that way. That way it's completely off, and then you can work on it. But if you can do it this way, it's a lot easier. I would do it this way because it's going to save you a little bit of time. Unless you're trying to learn how to put your car together, then I would definitely take it apart. Familiarize yourself with your car. All right, so now we're going to take the drive shaft. just like that. It just fell right in. See, just like that. Now that that's in, we're gonna leave it just like that. Let's see. All right, guys. So I was unaware that this drive shaft was incorrect. So as you saw when I put it in, it's too short. I could have sworn that it was the same drive shaft that was used in the Rustler. That is clearly the wrong drive shaft, as you can see the different links in them. So, and if you put in the slipper clutch, it's about 1.5 inches or so off. I did not know. I thought they were the same. So just so you guys know, they are not universal, and you're going to have to replace with the correct one, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if the hobby store has one, and I'm going to go pick one up, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I got the right one. It took about a week, but we're going to go ahead and finish this video. Just kidding. They actually right down the street, and they had one in stock. They only had blue. So it's part number 6855. So let me go ahead and pop this out. Obviously, this is the one for the Rustler and Stampede. As you can see, it's significantly longer. So, but hey, we got the right one. They had one in stock. So let's go and pop this one in and finish this video up. All right. Pop that in right there. Oof, kind of hard to grab it right there. It'll fall down in there. There you go, just like that. All right, that's in there. That's much better. So when I put this in, yep, that's nice. All right, so we're gonna leave that the way it is. Let's go and update this this spur gear right here. This is actually pretty simple. I'm not going to take the whole thing apart because this is actually a pretty simple repair. We're going to go ahead and take this hub off right here, just like that. Take that off. We'll take this bearing off. And I'm not sure. I don't think you have to take the whole thing apart. So let's go ahead and take this one off. You may have to get your pry tool because this one, it's not pressed on. All right, yeah, it's not pressed on, but just carefully wedge it out. Just don't pry too hard because you don't want to bend anything in here. Otherwise, you might get some vibrations. Here we go. Yeah, just take it off right there. So the stock one, it's a 54 tooth. The pitch is a 0.8. So these aren't that bad, but as you can see in this one, if you guys can see that, this one already has some rocks in it. So it's already chipped the teeth on the inside. So the best thing you guys can do for an upgrade is go and get a steel one. So let's go and open this one up. Okay, let's pull this one out. It's going to come with some hardware. Put the hardware right there. This is from Hot Racing. This is part number SJT254. This is a 54 tooth. It's the same tooth. I didn't want to go any higher or any lower. This one's actually perfect. So we're just going to stick with this one. So simple. You're just going to put it on in the same order that you took off. We're going to go ahead and this one's got the notches right there. You can do the same thing. You'll put this one on right there, just like that. Fits right on. Now, you're not going to use, you can use the stock hardware if you want, but let's see here. It does come with some other screws, which I think I will use. They got these little tapered screws. You're going to put these in these little housings right there. These little buckets, whatever you want to call them. Take that. And that's it. You're just going to screw them in. It does come with some washers, but you don't need them. I think just maybe for different applications of different cars. But for this one, you do not need them. Just go ahead and take these like this. You're going to put them right in there like that. And screw those in. I use them, and I've never had a problem. I don't put any Loctite. You don't need Loctite. So just save the other screws, just as backups for something else. Yeah, these will work just fine. I like the way it looks. And like I said, I've never had these come off, so you don't need to put any Loctite on there. Same thing, go around the house, tightening it down. Just remember you're screwing into aluminum, so don't over tighten it because you will break it. So that's in. Let's see here, everything looks good. Yeah, everything looks good. Negative steel spur gear. You're not gonna have any kind of issues with that. Let's go ahead and throw this on. I'm gonna save these little washers. It's always good to save all these little extra parts. Let's go ahead, take our bearing. Oops. Put our bearing back on. There you go, that's on there. Let's go put our drive hub back on. Now if the drive hub, I already have Loctite on it, so I'm not gonna put any more, but you're definitely wanna make sure you have Loctite on this because they do come loose. Make sure it's nice and tight. Yeah, before I put this on, I'm gonna make sure that this is set up correctly because when I took it apart last time, I'm not sure if it was set up right. So I'm gonna tighten this down. All right, it's all the way tight. I'm gonna back off one turn. That's usually how I set my slipper clutches. The best way to check them is once you have everything installed, go ahead and grab the back end of the car and blip the throttle while you're on the ground. You want the car to bounce up a little bit, you know, torque up. If it's not, and all four wheels are on the ground, it's probably slipping too much, which is okay. It really depends on what you're doing. If you're gonna be high speed runs, that's probably fine. You'll want it to slip a little bit so you're not popping a wheelie. But if you're out there on the dirt, you can tighten this all the way down if you want, as long as you have slippage on the dirt. But if you wanted to set up just neutral, just grab the back end, blip the throttle a couple of times and make sure it wants to bounce up. If it bounces up and you can hear it slipping, that's probably perfect. You do not want it too tight, especially if you're on the street, because it'll just pop wheelies all the time and you'll more likely break an axle. But what we're gonna do is eventually, soon, we're gonna go ahead and replace, let's see here, the Slash, the Stampede, and both Rustlers with center diffs. So we are gonna put center diffs in. We are on that. We've been asked that quite often why we haven't put them in yet. Honestly, it just hasn't been, you know, a priority because the slipper clutches, they work just fine for us. We usually don't have any problems. So that's usually why we don't, we haven't upgraded. Now to put this back in, this one does have a notch. So you're gonna have to line this notch up right here. Let's see here. Get that right there. Oh, wow. I got that the first chance. Normally when you put that in, you get to move it just a little bit before it clicks in. That one just went in. I got really lucky with that. All right, so let's go ahead and put a couple screws in that. Let's go and get that wheel back on so it's more stable. If you guys are looking for a good tool, like I said, we replaced the Ryobis with the Milwaukees. There's nothing wrong with Ryobi. They're great for you know, RC car stuff. But the reason why I like the Milwaukees is because of that. You can set the torque down. I put about 1. You can use 2, but I keep it at 1. And you don't have to worry about stripping screws out anymore. Granted, you still should pay attention to what you're doing because sometimes you can still overdo it. But you're not going to strip the plastic out as much with this, which is nice. Just like that. There you go. I mean, what I'll do anyways is I'll still grab my driver and check them. See, that was almost perfect. The last thing you want to do is overdrive it and then you strip out the plastic, and you know what happens when you do that, especially in a bulkhead. You end up having to use super glue or something like that, and you definitely don't want to have to do that. So let's go and throw this tire on. There we go. All the parts will be in the description, so I'll make sure I do that for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and put this back in. Let's slide that motor down into place. All right, now let's go ahead and put that nut back in that I told you earlier it fell out. And these fall out all the time. I actually lost one, I didn't even realize that it was gone until I replaced this back piece. I think we were at Hot Rod Hobbies and Raceways a couple years ago. And that popped out, didn't even know it was missing. I was like, what's going on? And then I realized that it was missing that nut in there, and I had to replace this whole thing because the new one came with a nut. So now what I do is I take a little bit of Gorilla Tape, and I just put it over that. That way it can't go anywhere. All right, so let's get this tightened up. I usually make sure it's kind of loose because when you put this on, yeah, see, it's going to tighten up as you put it on. Get the car off the ground. Let me get the car off the ground. Makes this a little bit easier. There we go. See, that's good right there, but when you tighten it up, it's gonna tighten that mesh up. I don't like using the pre-installed spacer that they put in here to pre-adjust the mesh. I don't like using those. I take those right out. I'm going to do that to the max too. I like setting my own mesh. A lot of people like using tape, but we're going to get that into a later video because, I'm sorry, paper. We're going to get that into a later video because a lot of people like using paper, and I know that's what Traxxas, a lot of the people tell you to use. But I mean, if you're out bashing and you grab some paper to put in there, what if you got the wrong size paper? I mean, what if you took it from an owner's manual of your car or some binder paper? I mean, they're all different thicknesses, so that's not going to be 100% accurate. You don't have to really get in that detail. Honestly, as long as the face of the teeth are lined up and you get a little bit like that, that's perfect. You get right in there. That's perfect. You can't go wrong with that. You don't want too much because you could actually strip it out. And obviously you don't want it too tight because you risk overheating and you're going to damage the motor and you're going to damage your gears. All right, we got that all done. That looks good. We're going to keep that shield off of that center drive shaft. That way if stuff does get in there, it can come out. I know it was probably a good idea or good thought that Traxxas went ahead and did that, but I don't like it. I rather this, whatever debris is in there actually comes out because it's just gonna cause all kinds of noise. We had one that was just causing all kinds of noise, and all it was a rock grinding in there in the plastic. All right, get that tightened down, and that is it. You're good to go. Put that down. Here we go, all set. Drag shafts in. That's not going to break. That's going to last a long, long time. The rustlers have lasted almost 2 years, and unless you bend it, you're not going to wear out that aluminum drive shaft. Motor looks good. I like where all the wiring is. I like how he set it up. Next thing, he's going to have to put some GTR shocks on this. Definitely, because I guarantee these are going to bend, depending on how he lands. But this is great. I think the next video we're going to do with this one is we're going to race it with the Losi Nitro, the Losi 8, and see how they both kind of handle. I think that'd be kind of interesting to see. But anyways, that'll do it for this video. Really enjoy, I think I enjoy the bottom. Yes, there you go. All you gotta do is line the back bumper up. So anyways, yeah, that'll do it for this video. All the information will be down in the description of all the parts that we used. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, please. It really helps out the channel so I can keep making videos for you guys. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.